we are with our new live show, that is English Vinglish, and here we'll be discussing the concepts, subjects and all the questions or doubts related to you or your questions. Now here we are doing this to help our dear candidates to build a better future. Now if you look at the questions that were asked in the examination, reading comprehension held 8 marks, close test was for 7 marks, parajumble, or it is also known as rearrangement of sentences, was of 5 marks. And error detection was of 10 marks. Now why error detection was of 10 marks? This was a surprise for us. As you have seen, all the examination that we have taken, it held only 5 marks. But in this examination, it had 10 marks, 10 different questions, 10 different marks for each question. Now here, we have to focus on error detection, and we very well know there is only one stop solution for error detection, and that is grammar. So today the topic for it is same, we have error detection in it. Accordingly, if we talk about the cutoff that is related to it, I suppose in my opinion it will only have 6 to 8 marks cutoff. Why? Because the paper was quite difficult. So now let's discuss some error detection exercises. Now the first sentence written here is, I tried to interrupt into their conversation but was told on. I tried to interrupt into their conversation but was told on. On means you have to be present in it. But here it says that he interrupted but he was told not to do so. So what we have is, we will replace off with on. Now here, this is a 9 meters cloth. Now I have told you this thing in subject verb agreement as well, that wherever we have a measurement unit or we have a counting unit given and we have a number before it, we never put it in plural form unless we have a noun here. So if we have a number, we have a measuring unit or a unit of counting given in that case, and it is followed by a noun, in that case this should be in singular form. Suppose if I give you 9 meter is a long distance. So this sentence would be correct or incorrect? This sentence would be incorrect. Why? Here I told you we have a noun after the measuring unit. Here we don't have a noun after the measuring unit. So in this case we will not place what? We will not place S here. We will place S here and we will omit S from here. Why is it so? When we have a number, a measuring unit or a unit of counting, after that we have a noun. The unit of counting or the measuring unit should be in singular form. That means we will not use S. But when we have a number, we have a unit of counting or a measuring unit present, but we don't have noun here. In this case, we will place S here. So the correct sentence here would be 9 meters is a long distance. Coming to the third sentence, it says the teacher and the doctor has been honored. Now, do you find any error in this sentence? Yes, there is an error. Why? Now here, we have teacher, first noun. We have doctor, the other noun, which is joined by and. And we have an article before both the nouns, which means teacher and doctor are two different persons. That is why we will place have instead of has here. Why? Whenever we have two nouns joined by and both are preceded by an article, in this condition it represents two different entities, and that is why we will place have here. Next is, when he parted with his sister, there were tears in his eyes. Now here in this sentence you can see when he parted with. We never use separation with or parted with. What is the correct preposition used with it is when he parted from his sister. So the correct preposition use of from is with parted. Next is, after toiling very hard for a long period, he found he had hardly made any profit at all. Now let's focus on this word hardly. Now this is a rule from adjective. Whenever we have hardly, barely, scarcely or if written in a sentence, we usually use any, the word any with it. So is there any error in this sentence? Suppose if I remove any from here and write no. So will this sentence be correct or incorrect? This sentence would be incorrect. Why? Because we have used a word hardly, and hardly follows any with it. So this sentence would be incorrect if I write no. So the correct sentence would be any. Now let's begin with some more examples. Next sentence that we have is, in 10 o'clock in the morning, I went to the beach to catch fish by my net. Now here in this sentence, if you look at it very closely, we have two errors in this sentence. Why? Whenever we have precise time or exact time given in a sentence, we never use in with it. Why? In is used with period of time. Period of time as in, I told you, if I tell you a sentence, I will buy a car in January. Now that is period of time. January consists 31 days. Now there you can use any, but here you cannot use any. Why? 10 o'clock is the exact time. And here you will place at 10 o'clock in the morning, I went to the beach to catch fish by my net. Now there is one thing given, that this person caught the fish using a net, right? And whenever we have this function agency, agency means whenever a thing or a person works as an agent, in that case we follow this function. Here my net, the fishes were caught, the fish was caught, but here it was caught by net, and this net worked as an agent. Now either we use with or we use by. By is used with living beings and with is used with non-living beings. So the correct sentence would be, at 10 o'clock in the morning I went to the beach to catch fish with my net. Got it? Now let's move to the second or the seventh sentence. Next that we have is, everyone agrees that Rahul is wiser than all the members of the family. Now look at this sentence very closely and find out if there is any error in this sentence. Now I must tell you, everyone agrees that Rahul is wiser than all the members of the family. Now here you can see Rahul is compared with all the members of his family. That means one is compared with many. In this condition, we can either use comparative degree or we can use superlative degree. Both are used. But when we are using comparative degree, as we have done here, Rahul is compared to the other members of his family and we have used a comparative degree. In this condition, it is very much obvious that we'll use than plus. There's a word any plus other. All this will be used in a sentence. So here the correct sentence would be, everyone agrees that Rahul is wiser than all the members of the family. This would be incorrect. What we'll write is than any other members. Now we have one more condition here. What? The noun used after it should be in singular form as well. So if we look at this, the members of the family is given. What we'll write is member of the family. The correct sentence is, everyone agrees that Rahul is wiser than any other member of the family is the correct sentence. Now let's move further. Next sentence that we have is, police are not allowed to enter into university campus. Now I want you to find out the error in this sentence. What should be the error? Any guesses? Now here I can tell you, I can give you a hint. It's an error from verb. What is the error? Now you can see are allowed to enter. These are verbs given here. Now whenever we have a word enter, why? It is a transitive verb. Whenever we have a transitive verb given, after it, prepositions should be avoided. Now what does into mean? Where is it used? Into is used when something moves from somewhere and enters into something, right? Moves and gets in. When something moves from somewhere and gets in something, in that case we can use into. Now here enter itself defines that something is moving from one place and getting into something. That is why we will not use into here. So whenever we have transitive verb, we will not use into. Similarly, I can tell you one more example, that is, the army attacked upon the terrorists. Now tell me, is there any error in this sentence? It's the error similar to this sentence. What? Now attacked also means that you are attacking someone. That means you are attacking upon someone. This upon word is not required here. Why? Because attack is also a transitive verb which does not require a preposition in a sentence. Now let's move further. Next is, there is no place for you on the bench. Now tell me, what is the difference or what is the error in the sentence? There is no place for you on the bench. Now in this sentence you can see a word written place. Where is it used? If I ask you, what is the difference between place, space, and what is the meaning of room? What is the difference between place, space and room? Where do we use place or space and where do we use room? Place or space is used with non-living thing and room is used with living being. Suppose you have an area which is surrounded by boundaries and is used for non-living beings. In that case, you will place either place or space. But if you have an area which is surrounded by boundaries and is used for living beings, in that case, you will use room. Or to be very particular, we can use it with person. For example, if I give you, there is no dash in the parking. Now tell me, what should we place in this sentence? There is no dash in the parking. We will place, there is no space, or we can place, there is no place in the parking. Why we can do this, or why we have written place or space here? Because this area, parking, is used for vehicles and vehicles are non-living thing. If I tell you there is no dash in the car. So car is used for whom? For person. In that case we'll use there is no room in the car. I know this sentence might sound absurd, but this is correct. Fine. So when we have non-living thing, we'll place place or space. If we have a living being, we'll place room here. Fine. Now let's move to the next sentence. And it says, my uncle's friend's son is a doctor. Now you can see we have a sentence, my uncle's friend's son is a doctor. We are talking about this son, this person. and we have used 2 apostrophes, which is a faulty English. In this condition, we will not use double apostrophes. What we can do is, the son of my uncle's friend is a doctor. So what we can do is, we can place the apostrophe with one person, but we cannot place the apostrophe with the other person. So here only one apostrophe will be used in a sentence, and the other you can place, if you want to show the possession of the person, you can use this word of, which is also used for showing ownership, possession. Now let's move to the next sentence. The next sentence that we have is, the tired traveler was sitting under the shade of the tree. Now tell me, this sentence is correct or incorrect? This is a sentence which is very commonly used while we speak, but this sentence is incorrect. Why? Can you sit under the shade of something? Can you sit under the shade? No, that is not possible. What we do is, we sit in the shade of something. So here the sentence is, the tired traveler was sitting in the shade of the tree. Now if I give you a very common sentence, this is, did you wrote a letter? This is a question, and this is a very common question that we use. This is a very common error that we do. We use did, and at the same time we use a past form of verb, which is incorrect. When we have already used did here, the verb form used should be verb's first form. So what we'll write is, did you write a letter? So here we come to an end of this series or of this show. I hope you liked it. Keep logging in, and we'll meet in the same episode.